Hello everybody, this is Romano DeFranco here and welcome back to the 2023 Stanley Cup Playoff Predictions show. This is the series where we investigate to see what teams who are going to succeed in this year's playoffs. Now that round 1 is in the books, let's look back on how my first round predictions turned out. Let's roll the flashback. Edmonton has the hotter hand, so just like last year, I'm predicting that Edmonton will win this series in 6 games. Despite the close regular season finishes, I'm predicting that the Avalanche will prevail in 5 games. This one could go either way, as I'm making an uneasy prediction that the Dallas Stars will prevail in 7 games. I'm predicting that the Golden Knights will win this series in 5 games. The stats say this should be a long series, but I'm predicting that the Bruins will win in a 4-game sweep as a sign that they haven't cooled down. I'm predicting that Tampa Bay will prevail in 7 games just like last year. I'm predicting that the Blue Shirts will take this series in 7 games. This is going to be a no-brainer. I think Carolina will win that series 4-2. Okay, now that the flashback is out of the way, let's get into the second round predictions. Let's start things off in the Western Conference. The Edmonton Oilers will square off against the Vegas Golden Knights. The Knights have home ice advantage since they finished first in the West. The Oilers got there with fine efforts from Leon Draisaitl, who led the team with 11 points, and Connor McDavid and Evan Bouchard, who each had 10 points. Meanwhile, it was Chandler Stevenson and Mark Stone delivering the goods for Vegas, with 8 points in just 5 games. During the regular season, the Oilers won 3 of the 4 games against Vegas. The only game they didn't win was on March 25th, where the Oilers lost by a score of 4-3 in overtime. Interestingly, 3 of the 4 games were won by the road team. On the injury front, Edmonton is a little banged up with Matthias Janmark still out with a foot injury. He's not expected back until at least May 3rd, but it might be longer. As for Vegas, they will be without goalie Logan Thompson and defenseman Braden McNabb for at least Game 1 of the series and probably more. This is the first ever postseason meet between the Oilers and the Golden Knights. Thanks to some dominant play from Leon Draisaitl and Connor McDavid, I'm predicting that the Oilers will clinch this series in 6 games. Also, the Dallas Stars have booked a second round meeting with the Seattle Kraken. For Dallas, it was Root Hintz who currently leads the playoffs in scoring with 12 points that powered the Stars into the second round, while Yanni Gourde leads Seattle in scoring with 6 points. The two teams have played against each other 3 times this year, and all of them occurring in the month of March. Dallas won the first 2, while Seattle took the last game 5-4 in the shootout, and it was the road team winning every game. This is another series in which the two teams have never faced each other in the playoffs, and that's because this is Seattle's first time in the playoffs. From an injury standpoint, the Stars will be without Joe Pavelski, who continues to go through the concussion protocol. Meanwhile, Jared McCann is listed as day-to-day for the Kraken. Andre Burakovsky is dealing with some back issues, and it's still not sure if he'll be back for round 2. I'm anticipating a very tough series because Seattle had a great first round, putting away the defending champs in 7 games. I'm predicting that the Dallas Stars will win this series in 6 games. Now, I will shift my attention to the Eastern Conference. The Toronto Maple Leafs are coming off their first playoff series win in 19 years. Their second round opponent is the Florida Panthers. The Leafs are firing on all cylinders with Mitch Marner, Austin Matthews, Morgan Riley, and John Tavares all fighting the back of the net. Matthew Tkachuk is having a great playoff year so far with 11 points, while Brandon Montour has pitched in with 9 points of his own. In the regular season, the Leafs have won 3 of the 4 games against the Panthers, including a 6-2 drubbing back on March 23rd. Remarkably, this is the third series in which the two teams have never faced each other, and I'm not sure if that's ever happened before where three of the four semifinals combatants have no history. Toronto has some injury concerns with goalie Matt Murray out with a concussion, and defensemen Victor Mayday and Mark Giordano nursing unspecified injuries. The Panthers' injuries are to Ryan Lundberg, who's out for at least another week, and Nick Cousins, who may not return for this series. Cousins had 4 assists in the first round. After a fairly convincing series win over the Tampa Bay Lightning, I'm predicting the Leafs will win this series in 5 games. The fourth and final series pits the New Jersey Devils versus the Carolina Hurricanes. The Devils' offense is currently led by Eric Holla and Jack Hughes, who have 6 and 4 points respectively. Sebastian Aho had the hot hand with 7 points for Carolina in the first round. These two teams met each other 4 times this season and split 2 games each. New Jersey won the first 2 while Carolina had won the last 2, including a 3-0 shutout back on March 12th. The Devils are injury-free while Carolina will be without Teuvo Teravainen, who is recovering from hand surgery. Jack Drury is day-to-day, while Andre Kasha is sidelined for at least 2 more weeks with a concussion. I'm predicting a short series with Carolina winning 5. And on that note, I'm going to end my predictions for round 2 of this year's playoffs. What do you think of them? You can let me know in the comments down below, and I would like to hear what you think, and also let me know your picks and how well you did in your first round predictions. In the meantime, I will see you in the conference finals.